luckily for me, I was announced second, so I feel like if I were to be called in the 5th slot, I would have been like crapping myself from nerves. But I was called second, so I didn't really reach that point. I was just happy to be there. Couldn't believe it was the actual show. I love also how they panned over to the Philippines lettering. And the crowd was crazy. Like, the cheers inside the Impact Arena were just unbelievable. To hear that much support. Every time I see this footage, I always notice my baby hairs. That's me doing a bad job with my hair. We were told that we have 30 seconds to say something about ourselves to the world, or to the judges. And that came with a lot of pressure because like in 30 seconds, that's like a gasp and a breath and it's over. So when I was thinking about what I wanted to say, my core of why I was there was always my charity work. So I just started to play with the thought of what if our country's children had the same type of support that, say, I was receiving in competing and achieving my dream. So this happened straight after opening statement. And you know what, I was a little bit nervous here because that's like a 50% cut. That's from 20 to 10. But I got called, I think, 4th. So again, I'm sure if I got called towards the end, I would have been much more nervous. So after top 10 was announced, we had to rush backstage and it was our first outfit change. So we had to change into swimsuit and that was crazy. I don't know how the staff did it, but out of the 95 girls, they got us 10, our swimsuits and our gowns into this small changing area backstage and it was chaotic. And I just remember waiting in the wings of backstage and just being like, oh my gosh, I'm in top 10. I loved our swimsuits. And just a bit of trivia, because during rehearsal only 2 of those beautiful capes were available, so I never actually got to practice in a cape. When I walked out on stage, it was my first time ever using the cape or the sarong. So I was a little bit nervous that I might trip on it, but it didn't happen, thankfully. And then it's my favorite. Okay, so aside from being a title holder, I'm also a pageant fan, and every time I watch pageants, evening gown is always my favorite. I was so excited about my gown. It has so much symbolism in it. For anyone that doesn't know, my gown was inspired by the Mount Mayon volcano, which is located in my mother's hometown in the Philippines called Albay in Bicol. And for anyone who might not know, that earpiece, the ear cuff, I designed it myself. It's a tribute to the 3 stars in the Philippine sun on our flag, the Filipino flag. You know, I was so stressed backstage getting dressed for evening gown. Again, it was such a time crunch. We were just getting dressed madly backstage, getting into the gown. And then I wanted to change my lipstick color because I wanted a fiery red lip for my evening gown. And there's no light backstage. There was no mirrors. There was no lights. And I'm just there like holding my lipstick like, does anyone have a mirror? And then finally a cheat artist came up with a small compact and in like the dark.